Everybody makes mistakes, from having bad crosshair placement to picking with W. Every one of us has the ability to improve ourselves no matter how skilled or inexperienced we are. In this video I'm going to be showing you some mistakes you might be doing and how you can fix them. But before we get into the video, let me tell you about today's sponsor. This video is brought to you by sellyourskins.com. If you're looking to sell your skins instantly for the highest price, this is the place. They're one of the most trusted cash-out sites. They have a wide variety of payment options such as PayPal, bank transfer and Bitcoin. They have a leveling system which you can use to gain up to 5% permanent bonus. And if you use my code UKKO, you'll get an additional 5% bonus on all payments. So try out sellyourskins.com, the link is in the description. If you want to spray through a smoke, you need to know what you're doing, because it could be very easy for your opponent to shoot you back and kill you based on where your bullets are coming from. The opponent could also push through the smoke when they know you have run out of bullets, which is why you almost always don't want to use your whole magazine in one go. You always want to shoot bursts and reposition when you're shooting through a smoke, so that the opponent can't predict where you are and shoot you back. Here you can see how I know where to shoot based on where the T's bullets are coming from. For example, if you're spraying through a CT smoke, the opponents could be anywhere in these positions, which will affect how they will spray the smoke themselves, and based on that you can choose the best position for you to shoot them without them shooting you. So if you're in this position, the only CT position which could kill you is the very one you're shooting at, so either you don't get a kill or you kill the only CT who could have killed you. So in this example, if the CTs are in any other position than the one you are shooting, they can't kill you. It's like when people tell you not to expose yourself to multiple angles at a time, but when you're spamming smokes. So if you're in the middle of the open like this, you can be killed from all these different angles, but if you're in this position, only one angle could kill you. So when you want to spam car, if you're standing in the middle of the open here, not only is your escape route farther away from you, you are also exposed to more spamming positions. Instead of that, go here, so that it's more unlikely that the CTs will shoot you back. You can see that if there's a CT in any of these positions, only the one you're shooting at is the one where the CTs can see you. One of the benefits of the M4A1S is that there are no bullet tracers and it is silent, so you can actually shoot through smokes almost as much as you want without giving your opponents too much information, although they could still decipher where you are based on the bullet holes, so be careful. In retakes as a CT, you need to recognize that when time is low especially, the T's want to play time. They will do these jiggles and pre-fires to make you think that they are peeking just to make you stop to hold for that, when they actually are never going to peek. They will do anything to deceive you into delaying your push and wasting your time, which you want to recognize and avoid. So for example, in this situation, the jiggles and pre-fires of the T might make you do this, or you procrastinate to try and catch the T peeking, but the T will not peek and you just waste time. So once you see this, know that it is in your best interest to quickly push him and not let him play time. When you're on the T side, you want to do the same thing, so in this situation don't hide like this and just wait for the CT to push. Try to make them waste time. Sometimes there might be a situation where a T will bait themselves to serve as a distraction, while another T will peek you once you start shooting at the other. If the other T will peek only when you start fighting the other, it makes it hard for you to kill both of them, so if you notice this is happening, try to bait the other T into peeking you by pretending to fight the other T but then switching to the other one like this. So try to make them think you're vulnerable when you actually aren't. If you succeed in bamboozling the other T into peeking you at the wrong time, you also have a better chance at getting the rest of the kills. The distance between you and the angle highly depends on the situation and what your goal is. Peeking close to the angle and far away from the angle both have their advantages and disadvantages. When peeking close, you are seen earlier by the opponents, and when further away, you will expose less of your body. But when peeking close, you move faster on your opponent's screen, making you harder to hit, and you can catch up to them faster when you're rushing if they try to fall back. But peeking close also means that you can more easily expose yourself to multiple positions at a time, whereas it is harder to do that when you're far away and you are also a smaller target on your opponent's screen. But being farther away also means you can't run after an opponent with low health, for example, before they get away. And also because you move slower, you are easier to kill with an AWP. Wide swinging close against an AWP is better because you move so much faster on their screen. Being farther away might be better when you're slowly clearing, because when you move slower relative to the angle, you don't expose yourself to multiple angles, whereas you do when peeking close because of your higher movement speed and the fact that the opponent sees you before you see them. But sometimes clearing slowly close to the angle can be better, for example doing this in ramp allows you to do this undetected. You want to avoid being still while throwing a piece of utility, because if the opponent peeks at the correct timing, they will have an easy kill. The correct way to do this is to continuously jiggle and stop only for a moment to throw and immediately go back into cover, so that if the opponent peeks you at that timing, you will be moving and harder to hit because of that. So for example, if there's an execute coming and you want to smoke ramp, it is already too late to smoke it like this, which means you have to have a lineup or some other plan in order to react accordingly. You have to know in which positions your gun barrel sticks out to know how you can avoid getting spotted by your opponents. If you have to play in that position, one way to counter this is to look slightly into the wall so that your gun barrel goes into the wall and flick onto your opponent once you see him. The other way is to not hold too deep an angle and take a few steps back to hold a better angle where your gun barrel does not stick out. How many times has this happened to you? You get a kill and instantly reload only to get killed soon after. You have to realize that the second after you get the kill, there's a high likelihood that another opponent peeks you because they want to trade their teammate. You don't need to instantly reload when you shot 2 bullets, you just waste time and possibly let your opponents know you are vulnerable at that moment, especially if you continue to push while reloading, which is even worse. So when you're pushing, don't reload after one burst so that you are ready to get a multi-kill. You need to be mindful about what sound cues you are making. For example, if you make steps after a fake defuse, the opponent obviously knows you aren't actually defusing. You can use sound cues to your advantage in many ways. You can for instance take advantage of the loud reload sound by cancelling the reload of your weapon to trick your opponents into peeking you, thinking you aren't ready for them when in reality you are. In CS2, unlike CSGO, the sound will also reset along with the animation when cancelling the reload, so it could be easy to know when your opponent is fake reloading. However, some people might still be fooled even by the first magazine sound, which could give you an advantage. You can also take advantage of dropping sounds to fake that you are dropping down from somewhere, for example apps on Inferno. Yo man, flash along for me. If you're still using mouse wheel to cycle between utility and weapons, just stop. You want to have binds to be able to react to situations as fast as possible. So sign a key for all the nades and bind scroll wheel to jump for bunny hopping, for example.